Today's topic is Women from Venus. Venus is a second planet from the Sun. It is named after the Roman goddess of love and beauty. As the second brightest natural object in the sky after the moon, Venus can cast shadows and can be on rare occasions visible on the naked eye in the broad daylight. Venus is the Roman goddess of love, beauty, prosperity, fertility, and victory. She is so important, Romans, that they claimed her as their god. See the statue of Venus of beauty. So the Venus, again, hold numerous craters on a hellish hot surface, all of which are named after the women who have made the contributions to their field. There are 3 craters they have named after the Indian women who are supremely accomplished. Number 1 is the Joshi crater, number 2 is the Girard crater, and third is the Madhvi crater. Then we all remember the Madhubala, the Venus of Indian cinema, who still remains the template of beauty and art. The mysterious and the history of the marble Venus de Milo statue, which is in the Louvre Museum of Paris. She is also the significance of the beauty. Now, recent studies indicate that the gender may have substantial influence on human cognitive functions, including emotion, memory, and perception. Men and women appear to have different ways to encode memories, sense emotions, recognize faces, solve certain problems, and make decisions. Now, there are 2 minds, and the cognitive difference between the men and the women are, number 1 is understanding the difference between the man and the women, effective communication in relationship, men love women, love differently, and handling the emotion, need, changes, and argument. So the values for the men and the women. For the men, when a problem arises, like to offer solution directly, not like to be told what to do, especially if they didn't ask for the advice. And a women, when problem arises, women offer unsolicited advice. So this is the basic problem. Now the stress, men tend to pull away and silently think about what's bothering them, going into their cave. And women feel the instinctive need to talk about what's bothering them. Motivation, men feel motivated when they feel needed. Women motivated when they feel cherished. Language, men express things more literally and women expresses things more like a feelings. Now there is a difference between the intimacy. A man gets close but then inevitably needs to pull away. Women needs to understand this and understand that when he reacts, he will swing back like a rubber band. Argument, men like to act as if they are always right, which may invalidate a woman's feeling. Women sometimes unknowingly send messages of disapproval instead of disagreement, inciting differences. Now the score, both the male and female, they keep scores. Men think that one big gift or a sacrifice balances many little signs of affection. For example, a gift of 2,000 rupees, it's like a 20 acts of love and services. But the female put equal values on each loving act. For example, 2,000 gift, for her, it's a 1 act of service. So the love, men and women usually give the kind of love they need and not what the opposite sex needs. Men primarily need trust, acceptance, and appreciation. Women primarily need caring, understanding, and respect. Love can be distilled in 3 categories. First is lust. It is because of testosterone and estrogen. Number 2 is attraction. It's because of dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. And third is attachment. It's oxytocin and vasopressin. Now, what is dopamine? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, working memory, involved in reward and pleasure pathways. It brings the focus, pleasure, and happiness. It's a relationship and passion. The dopamine is there. And fifth, it also the emotion and the motor control. Within the brain and a body, it plays a very, very important role, dopamine. And especially the testosterone, it is for the libido and vitality. for the bone density and a fat distribution, muscle strength and a mass, face and body hair, and the production of sperms into males and a production of red blood cells. Now, there is a relationship between the dopamine and a testosterone, a bilateral relationship. If there is a stress in a male, they produce dopamine. As the production of dopamine is there, they increase the testosterone levels, and that testosterone level act on a stress. It's a medial preoptic area, and the stress level goes down. As testosterone also goes down, and the male becomes grumpy. So this is one way of putting dopamine and testosterone for the males. And for the women are just like a weather. They're always changing, sometimes sunshine, sometimes blue sky, sometimes puffy cloud, sometimes rainstorm, sometimes hurricane, and sometimes tornadoes. The women hormones, basically in the hippocampus, more memory than the men, and they are very emotional. And when they act on a stress, estrogen produces, and these estrogen produces with the big reaction, and it converts, it produces more oxytocin and more cortisol. And all the changes are there with the women hormones. But women has a built-in mechanism to counter stress. Anti-stress hormone is oxytocin in females, also called love or a cuddle hormone. As it increases, feeling of trust and emotional bonding is there. It is also responsible for triggering lactation and labor, or mothers speak even after birth, touching, stalking, cuddling, cooing. It's all promotes also the eye contact. So in a females, the oxytocin is very, very important, and in a man, dopamine and testosterone is very, very important. When cortisol level remains high in the body for a long period of time, it begins to break down non-essential organs, tissues in order to maintain high levels of glucose in the blood to feed the vital organs. Now, what is the lesson one? When we do all those things, see the differences between the male and a female. Male thinks, what's wrong? Female thinks, he's bullying me. Male thinks, tell her to stop then. Female, you are not listening. Without speaking, she thinks that he is going to listen. Why doesn't she appreciate my help? Why doesn't he listen and show me love? Male thinks, I don't like the unsolicited advices from the females. Females thinks, please show compassion and listen to me. So this is the difference between the two. Another point is in a male and a female is, I have an interview today. It's an example. You need a speaking lessons. I am aware of that. I am capable. He needs help. So this is a difference of thought process between the two. And they think that is like that. And man got to their caves and women talk. This is the lesson 2. If any problem comes, if there is a stress over there, then the first thing which the male will do, they try to solve the problem, and female, their focus is withdrawn in them, and if it's not possible, they goes to this cave. So this is a response of the men with the stress, and they need space of their own. But when their stress is there, female will show the overwhelmed, emotionally involved, talking about the problem. So this is the difference, that the lesson 3 is men are like a rubber bands and women are like a waves. Male intimacy cycle, if there is a problem, I need some time alone and I'll be back in 30 minutes. But female intimacy cycle, she will start giving the unsolicited advice. So male says, don't give unsolicited advice. Don't expect her to feel better straight away. A woman's self-esteem rises and falls like a wave, and men have an instinctive urge to pull away from the time to out. So this is the difference. And most common relationship problems between the men and the women are as a result of fundamental psychological differences between the sexes. Now this is a take-home message. Stay focused in a hyper world. Men solving problems, more testosterone. Little things make difference for the women. For women, affection, compliments are first, dynamic first, listen to them. And women should always say to men, that makes a good sense, good idea, and you are right. Thank you so much.
The fact of the matter
always say to men, that makes a good sense, good idea, and you are right.